Hello, welcome to my channel. My name is Elizabeth and I just got back from an absolutely dream trip to Finland. We went in January and it was truly just the most beautiful, peaceful, magical place that I've ever been in my entire life, and I have been all around the globe. I feel like I have been to such amazing places before. Finland was my 36th country, I believe, and it is truly just like unlike anywhere I've ever been. I loved it so much. I have been sharing my travels on my YouTube channel, on my TikTok, on my Instagram for years now, and I don't think I have ever gotten as many questions about a trip as I have about Finland. So I just wanted to do a dedicated video, Q&A on it, talk about my experience, the booking, everything like that. I did not book through a travel company. I feel like a lot of the like Visit Finland groups that I'm a part of on Facebook have said like, oh, you need to like book a company. They kind of use like a fear tactic of like, oh, the roads are going to be really bad, you won't be able to drive, like you can't get anywhere. That was not true at all. You don't need a company to drive you around. Finland was extremely manageable to do on our own. We took our 1-year-old daughter, it was her birthday trip, we rented a car and drove around, and it was truly just incredible. But you do not need a tour company to take you. You can if you want, if that makes you more comfortable. It is just so much more expensive. I got quotes from a tour company last year to like how much it would be, and it ended up being around like $6,500 per person, which would have been like a $13,000 trip, and we did not spend anywhere near that. I have a detailed list of questions that you guys have asked me, and I'm going to go over everything and then share like how much we spent on everything, because I kept track of every penny, because I was like, can I do this cheaper or can I not? And I did. First question was our flight itinerary, someone asked. So we flew from Cincinnati to New York to Helsinki, and then on the way home we flew from Helsinki to Dallas, Texas, which was 11 hours with a 1-year-old. She was honestly great. I have no complaints. It was probably the best flight of her life. But then we had a layover in Dallas and then flew back to Cincinnati. So not horrible, long, yes, but I mean, there's really no other way to get there. So it is what it is. So we were there for 8 nights. What was our itinerary is the next question. So we flew into Helsinki. We spent the night in Helsinki that night, and then the next day we just explored. And then we got on the Santa Claus Express train to go up to Rovaniemi. That was a 12-hour overnight train. We did get a sleeper cabin with a bathroom that's very tight. We had a lot of luggage and not enough hands. It was a lot. Once we got to the train station, they let us off, and then they do have a rental car place there, but they were completely sold out of cars. So we went to the airport. We just took like an Uber to get there, and that's where we picked up a rental car, was at the airport. But it worked out because when we returned it to the airport and then flew back to Helsinki. Once we got our rental car, we went straight to the Santa Claus Village, which is like, they count it as like amusement park. I really wanted to go here. Everything is way expensive, but we really just walked around and saw like everything, and it was just really kind of magical to see everything. We did not want to wait in line to meet Santa or do anything else, but we did send postcards. They have a post office there that you can send postcards to yourself to like be delivered ASAP or the next Christmas season. So we did one of each. After that, we just went to our hotel, checked in, spent the night there. The next morning we woke up and started our drive portion of the trip. We drove about 2 hours up to Levi. This is mainly like a skiing town, obviously with a 1-year-old who's not even walking. We weren't going to be skiing, but we did stay at this little, gosh, I'll see if I can find the name. It was kind of sketchy when booking online, if I'm completely honest with you, but it was the best place because we had super easy to get in. There was no like front desk to check in. You just went and they had like your info on the door and you can like pick up your key. And then we had like a sauna in our room, a kitchen, dining room, bedroom, and then we overlooked the ski slopes, and it was just so beautiful and fun. The next morning we literally walked across the street and took the gondola like ride up to the top. We walked around there and saw the most gorgeous trees ever. They were just covered in snow. We had a beautiful sunny day with like clear blue skies, and it was like truly the best ever. I wanted to cry looking at it because it was like what I've been dreaming of. I'm a winter vacation person, if you cannot tell. But it was so dreamy. I loved it so much. And then we came back down the mountain, had lunch, and then we were like, oh, well, we're gonna drive to this place that I saw that was recommended to go look at more snowy trees and to see if you could see like a sunset or anything. And it turns out we just drove up the mountain. So I wasted like $40 on the gondola tickets when we could have just driven because we had a car. So in hindsight, I wish I would have known you can drive up the mountain and be up there, and we should have done that, but it is what it is. Up there, we just walked around some more, looked at how beautiful it all was, came back down, spent the second night in Levi, and then the next morning we woke up and headed all the way to Pia. We loved this. I'm not even gonna say city, because it wasn't like we were going to a city. We were going to the Northern Lights village. We spent the whole time there. It wasn't like we were going out and about and exploring the city. We stayed in our glass igloo here. It was truly stunning, absolutely amazing. I loved every moment of it. Our accommodation was just perfect for us. We walked in, they had a crib set up for Navy. I didn't even ask them for that. We also had a sauna in our room. They had sleds for us to pull Navy around in. And then this is the day that we did the reindeer sled pulling. Would I recommend it? I mean, I wanted to do it, obviously. However, now that I've done both the reindeer sled ride and the dog sledding, I would have probably skipped the reindeer. We were the only people that booked for that time slot, so it was like private, just us, which was nice. It was beautiful. Navy liked it, but it wasn't cheap, so I don't know. In hindsight, I probably would not do it again, but I guess I'm glad I did it the first time. The Northern Lights Village includes breakfast and dinner for food, so we could eat dinner there that night. I thought they were great because when we went in, I have food allergies. My daughter has food allergies too. So when we went in, we just asked, like, it's a buffet. So we asked I guess she was like a hostess who seated us, and she brought the chef out and walked me through the entire buffet of everything that I could not eat and then my daughter could not eat. And so that was like so nice, and I felt so confident eating the food, and I thought it was pretty good. I have no complaints about it. That night we did get to see the lights. They were so beautiful. We got to walk around. David pulled Navy and I on a sled behind him as we like looked at the skies above us. We have that book that's like, I don't even remember what it's called. It's like a blue book. It's a kid's book, and in one of the pages is, I love to share the magic of the shining skies above. And now every time I read that, I'm like, Navy, we got to see the Northern Lights with you. It was so special. So yeah, it was great. Loved it so much. That was pretty much one of our only clear nights since it was so cloudy the whole time we were there. But it was great. We did get to see them, which was, you know, more than I ever could have asked for. The next day we had our included breakfast, and then we went dog sledding. This was great. We did have to commute to the dog sled property. They provided a car seat for Navy, which was great. Oh, this whole place provides outdoor gear for you, so you don't have to worry if you don't have like appropriate winter attire, hats, gloves, boots, snowsuit, all of that. And they did provide it for Navy as well, so they go tiny sizes, which was wonderful. I loved dog sledding. It was so fun. I had no idea that we signed up for David to be the driver, but we did, so he did great. It was fun. Navy was so relaxed on it. It was cold, but we had her facing like my chest, and she was just like so relaxed, just like rocking back and forth on this like sled. She fell asleep. It was a dream. It was awesome. After, that was pretty much all we did for that day. And then the next day we woke up, we drove back to Rovaniemi, we went to the airport, dropped our rental car back off, took a flight to Helsinki, and then we just stayed at the Helsinki airport hotel that night and then started our journey back the next day. So that was easier for us just because we had all of the stuff. In reality, we could have hit another country somewhere close by to there with the extra time, but it's fine. I think it was perfect the way we did it. I loved our itinerary. I think that it was just wonderful. Was this easy to do with a baby? Yes. I'm either a parent at home or I am a parent in another country. I don't know what to like. Yes, it was easy. She is the best little traveler. We had no problems on the flights. We had no problems like taking her around the car seat. The only thing that was pretty difficult this time was the 7-hour time difference. We were up for 2 to 3 hours in the middle of the night every single night, not just like up and crying. Like, we were up, full lights on, wake window playing. It was brutal, but that is just a phase of life. It is hard as an adult to adjust to a time change, and it is even harder as a baby. So that's what it is. That was just a little bit rough, but that's not a Finland specific issue or a specific issue with just Navy. It is just the way things are. But truly wonderful, beautiful. I think it was a little bit harder with it was only light outside, like daylight hours from 10:30 to 2:30-ish. So it was dark a lot of the time, which I think also did not help like the cardiac rhythm. Favorite activity that we did would be dog sledding. Activity that we would skip would probably be the reindeer thing, or I think just the reindeer thing. Activities that we would add without a baby. We wanted to go on the icebreaker ship and then get in the water. We also wanted to do like a sauna and cold plunge outside. Couldn't do that. I would have loved to do snowboarding or skiing. I would have loved to do skiing. However, we can go back in the future. It's all good. This was the perfect trip for this phase of life we're in right now, but there are a lot of activities there that you can do later and add to without having a baby. Is January a good time to go? Yes. They say December is so busy. December and November don't always have tons of snow, and I think January was it. January was wonderful. We had the best time. We saw the Northern Lights. The second night that we were at the Northern Lights Village, we saw the Northern Lights again-ish, but it was more cloudy and they weren't as clear. But yeah, I think January was truly perfect. How many clear nights did you get for the lights? 1.5. The second night it was a little bit, but not like anything crazy. Do you have any must-have packing essentials? I have in my Amazon storefront down below must-have packing essentials for traveling with a baby specifically, and then traveling to Finland specifically. The gloves that we had, I love them. I love the snow pants that we had. We got these like baklava head covers things. They were okay. I liked them like going around, but not for dog sledding because they started to like freeze where you were breathing out. Traveling with a baby, travel crib. Can't go without it. Travel stroller, our baby carrier, I am obsessed with. I could not travel without any of that stuff. So I have it all linked down below. And then next question, how much did you spend? How can you save money? And how can you splurge on the trip? The glass igloo that we stayed in at Northern Lights Village, I will say, it's expensive. Between doing all the activities there for the dog sledding, the reindeer ride, and staying at the igloo for 2 nights, it was about $2,000. The activities were expensive. The time of year is like good time of year to see the Northern Lights. Like if you go in like the summer, no one wants to stay there because you know, you're not going to see the lights at night. So that was a splurge. However, you can save money. Like other areas of the trip, we stayed in just like a tiny little hotel when we were in Rovaniemi and in Helsinki, and then we only ate out, I think, other than like the free included stuff at Northern Lights Village, we only ate out I think 2 or 3 times. Everything else was grocery store. It's so much easier, I think, to eat from grocery stores in Europe in general than it is in the States, just because they have ready-made like sandwiches and stuff that I can eat. Oh, it's so exciting. I'm allergic to sesame and I can't have the breads in America, but they have ready-made sandwiches and like just like grab and go stuff, so we loved that. And then us having a kitchen in Levi really helped. It was also just like, I don't love taking Navy out to eat, just not because anything about her, it's just the allergy with her being allergic to egg. It's anxiety inducing for me, so I'd much rather like read the ingredients, make our food at home and all that. But if you do choose to go out to eat a lot while you travel, that just ups the price so much more. So for everything for the whole trip, I will say you could save money by not getting a seat for your baby. We paid the fee to have Navy have her own seat so that we could have the car seat on the plane. This was a great investment. I'd do it again in a heartbeat. I will say flights were only like 500 bucks, but it was so great to be able to like have her sit right between us and have her be able to be put down and stuff like that. It was wonderful. But between flights, all Ubers, food, hotels, activities, random spending, absolutely everything, souvenirs, you know, whatever it may be, we spent for the 3 of us to go $6,833.16. I think this was so worth it, especially considering that $2,000 of that was for one hotel. Worth it. I loved it. But for how much we packed into our itinerary, for it to be for 3 of us, for us to have the extra flight, for us to have the rental car, for us to do all the activities that we wanted to do, like I think that was worth it, especially when I think back about that quote that I got from a travel company last year to do it. I was like, man, we saved so much money. So I hope that answers some of your questions. Finland was truly such an absolutely magical place. I would love to go back. If you have any specific Finland related questions about traveling with a baby, traveling with a 1-year-old, anything like that, please let me know. I would love to be of assistance to you because I feel like it was so hard for me to find people who went to Finland with a baby, people who were brave enough to travel with their babies and everything like that when I was doing research for this trip. And I would just like it to not be so like viewed as so negative to travel with a baby. It's wonderful to travel with her. I love bringing her places, and I just want other people to feel comfortable bringing their babies places too. So thank you so much for watching today's video. I hope you enjoyed, and I will see you next time. Bye.